We're out here today at the Tokorozawa Motor Vehicle School for the annual Tokorozawa Classic Car Club show. Tokorozawa is a town about an hour away from Tokyo in Saitama, and I actually used to live right near here, about 2 stations away. This is an all-genre classic car show, I believe centering on cars pre-1979. But there is all sorts of cool stuff here. So once again, as is usual in these videos, we're just going to walk around the car park and see what's here. And it looks like there's some really good stuff here today. So like I said, all genre car show, that means stuff from overseas as well as Japanese cars like this Camaro. And right next to it is a absolutely mint A60 Turbo Celica. This is cool. They've got the little classic Japanese cars over here on the left and the big American steel over on the right. This is a 1971 Subaru R2 with air-cooled drum brakes on the front. Honda T360 truck. Oh, what is that over there? This is a Mazda 3-wheeler truck from the 1950s, I think. 1957. Engine almost like a motorcycle. Here's how it was found. Well, I think he's just saying it just broke just now. Here's another one. Bit newer model, 1964 Mazda 3-wheeler. Oh, and here's a 2-stroke Suzuki K-truck. So this is what commercial vehicles looked like back in the 60s and the 70s. Similar to the K-trucks we have these days. These are Honda Zs, little 2-door sports cars from the early 70s. And here's some other 2-door sports cars. Yeah, it has the Cobra badge and it's got the original AC badge on the steering wheel. I don't know, I'm not an expert, I don't know if it's real or not, but if it's not, it looks like it to me. Speaking of commercial, I just noticed this. This here is a Suzuki Alto Hustle. Okay, so it's a Suzuki Alto Works RSX, so it's the 660cc turbo Alto, but it has this huge box on the back. It's got a mirror tint, so I can't show you the inside, but I'm sure some of you would like to drive this. Like a bag of Skittles. This is the Suzuki Servo Coupe 2-door, Mitsubishi Minica, and Suzuki Servo with a 2-door, and another Minica from 1970. Okay, I found the owner of the Servo. Now I want to show you something. I'm 194. He's pretty tall as well, right? So I want to see how I fit in this. I can't use the wipers. I probably couldn't put it into reverse either. And my knees are right on it. So and my head is on the roof. It's a bit small. Okay, so maybe not for me. Here's a Mazda Shante. These were 2-stroke as well. Original patina, that looks really cool. There's a Subaru Samba wagon. Again, drum brakes and a tiny little interior. So lots of old classic Ks at this. I love the way the Mazda Carol looks. Just with the dump and wheels, it looks like such a hot rod. I'll show you from the back. How cool is that? Here we go. Here's some. I should just point out at the same time that this is what's on the other side of the aisle. Huge Ford trucks. four-door Hakosuka, four-door Japan, right opposite the Chevy trucks. Alright, I got to point something out on this Chevy Cheyenne. It has a shotgun rack. Not real, obviously, that's probably airsoft. And it has a full set of logging equipment in the back. Man, Monte Carlos look so big. These all look so big. From the Challenger to the Galant. Wait, I have to look up what this is. I had to look at the badge. This is a Mitsubishi Celeste MCA Jet. I have no idea what these are, but it is a very, very 1970s sort of look, isn't it? Yeah, obviously copied from the American car styling from that period. I had to look it up. Thank you, Wikipedia. This car was sold as the Plymouth Arrow in the US and the Dodge Arrow in Canada. All right, speaking of US Japanese crossovers, this is the Willys Jeep, but it was manufactured by Mitsubishi. In post-war occupied Japan, a lot of the factories made parts for the American cars, and that included entire vehicles. This one by Mitsubishi, and this Jeep, which was also made by Mitsubishi. Looks like a 1970s used car lot. So when I said all genre before, I wasn't kidding. Another Splitty. Plymouth Roadrunner. Triumph TR3, so we're going UK spec now. Europas are, I don't know, surprisingly common or unsurprisingly common in Japan. There's quite a lot of them. I saw this thing at a Tokyo Auto Salon a few years ago. Guess what engine this has in it? If you said 12A rotary out of a SA22 RX-7, you'd be right. This is a roughly 1970 Mazda Porter K truck. Stereo, subwoofer, and some sort of racing steering wheel. There's a dyno sheet in it that says it makes 100 horsepower. I sort of believe that. Sunny wagon. The Sunny. Oh, look at this one. That is very low. Here's a nice little Sunny. 13-inch wheels, it looks like. And carbon fiber intakes. 1.1 litre, 68 horsepower from the factory, it says. I think it makes a bit more than that now. These Skylines are replicas of those on a TV show from the mid-1980s called Abunai Deka. Actually, this guy's cosplaying as one of the characters. It was one of those, typical 1980s cop shows with lots of car chases and things like that. Nissan President. It was Nissan's answer to the Century back in the day. It's a Gloria. A big row of Corollas. I like the wheels on these cars too. You got the Toms, twin spokes. Got the Hayashis. And this is like early 1980s personified in a car, the Corolla with the Yokohama Advan A3As. Oh, something I should point out. We are at a driving school, Tokorozawa driving school. See these things everywhere? Well, it says don't touch, but see how these things are steel bars mounted on springs? So what these are for is learning how to back into a space and park up against a hard wall, but it still has some give. So say, for example, this space here to there would be, for example, learning how to back a long vehicle into. And they have these, I'll show you, see all over there, see these vertical bars? That's what these are for. It gives you an edge to back up to. So say, for example, this little section of road here, all right, you've got a wall here, a very tight right and left-hand turn. This is a very good simulation of a Japanese suburban back street, going around these tight corners without hitting anything. Small space, back in, park in here without hitting these things. Datsun Cherry. By the way, the lights on these things were very popular to use in Bosozoku cars. These things here, they take these lights out, rotate them slightly so they looked angry. But this is what the lights originally came on. I saw this one before with its doors open. It has Lambo doors. I don't know how recent a modification that was or not, but oh, look at the interior, wow. Toyota S800s. Triple S Bluebird, and the original mustard. And the garbage can lid wheels. You all know the Hakosuka, I don't need to describe that. The Skyline Kenmedi on Hayashi's. Bit of an odd lineup when you first walk in. It's like Skylines and then a Daihatsu Midget 2. Okay. Looks like something a kid would do with his toys. Isuzu. Oh, by the way, for those who don't know, Bridgestone, the tyre company, it comes from the Japanese name Ishibashi, which means stone bridge in Japanese. So that's why they call it Bridgestone. Nissan Cedrics. I was told back in the day when they tried to sell the Cedric in Australia, Nissan kind of got laughed at because Cedric had a bit of a connotation back then, the name Cedric. These are Glorias, by the way. The Gloria. The interior on these. 1980s ultimate comfort quilted interior with an overwhelming smell of vanilla coming out of that one. Yep, black, gold, must be the 80s. Black gold. You all seen that ad? If you're on YouTube, wait until this video's ended, then go look up the black gold commercial on YouTube. It's amazing. Yeah, that shape still looks good now, doesn't it? It's like 80s, but not too terribly 80s. Like a four-door. Oh, it's an Autech. Okay, I found the owner and I asked him. So this is a GTS 4. 4W ですか? Okay, so it's a GTS 4 that he has put on GTR fenders himself. So it's not an Autech body. He said it was just the sticker, but it's also got the twin turbo RB26. So there you go. It's build your own four-door GTR. So 33 wheels, 33 brakes, and RB26 single turbo in this stager. It's kind of cool. C35 Laurel with Watanabes and a slight pump, and they said all these guys are in the same group. The Skyline wagon four-door and another four-door. That's one of the cool things about the four-door Skylines is the fender line is low like that, so even if the car is only a little bit lower, it looks a lot lower than it is. Some cool stuff in the car park. Oh, people always ask, "Hey Alexi, do you ever see any AW11s? Do you ever see any AW11s?" Here's one. There you go. Supercharger and everything. You weren't a pimp back in the 80s if you didn't have the Panasonic TV aerials. Here's something else they have at these driving schools. Hills, to practice hill starts. But it's a car park today. I never thought I'd start to get excited to see a Spearmint gunmetal S13, but that day has come. There's an Esprit over here. Esprit Turbo. These things look a lot cooler than I remember them looking. Esprit Turbo. With the A86 taillights. Toyota. And if you think I'm kidding, go look it up. I can hear the sound of cars not starting in the background. It must be a classic car show. Now look, anytime there's a good car meet, the cops have to come and shut it down. Come on man, we just want to have a good time. Alright, time for rollouts. 2019. This is a classic car, by the way. Alright, that's all from here today at the Tokorozawa Classic Car Festival. I saw a lot of cars here this weekend that I don't normally see at these kinds of events, which was kind of cool. Also, if you haven't seen it already, the previous video, Mark II, getting aligned. We're on our way to get it back onto the track, hopefully sooner rather than later. Anyway, that's all for now. Thanks for watching. See you next time. There's a snake in my boots.